This week I am joined with my Canadian guest host, Rawwb Guitar. We go straight off the dome. So there's a lot of information is going back and forth. It's just a common man, it's just a common man, and we just go in. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Now, Amy Cooper is being given a platform or a reason to speak. She's being given a platform to tell her side of the story. Okay. Now, I've just tagged you in something on Twitter, which is a podcast called Honestly with Barry West. Okay. I don't know how to fucking pronounce this, but I couldn't have been more tilted. I don't know how tilted I am, but I'm gonna assume you're browsing, and what you're
Like an
looking.
hour and something podcast, my guy.
Pardon?
You want me to listen to the whole thing?
No, I've tagged you in the post, the
Okay,
whole
yeah.
thread, just so you're there. Okay, so it's there for you. Now you don't need to listen to the podcast. I fucking listen to it. These guys are giving Amy Cooper what the media didn't tell you. So it's Amy Cooper and Christian Cooper. Okay? Amy Cooper is the fucking woman's name. Christian Cooper is fucking the guy. They have no relation. This guy fucking. Do you see on Twitter? His post, like Christian Cooper's Facebook post? It's about, yeah, you see it. Okay, I want you to click it. So these fucking losers are painting a picture, okay, that she was she was in the right. Her behavior was in accordance to being what her life was being threatened, right? There and the way if you want to listen to this podcast, just the beginning is gonna boil your blood. It's gonna boil your blood because all you're gonna hear is how the media overinflates racism, and racism is this thing that it gets views and shit like that. Yeah, we want to see people being disrespectful for like the media is like not telling you the side of the story. Then it shows you all these clips of like, then it like kind of cuts to like George Floyd and shit, right? And I'm the way they're like, this anti-racism rhetoric. It's absolutely fucking just annoying as fuck. It's annoying as fuck for me, and I can't fucking stand it. Amy is being defended, okay? Do you think that, like, the media is on the side of anti-racism?
It doesn't have any morals.
Okay.
So it does what it does. I'm not gonna. This is the thing. I understand everything you're saying is implicable, but the bottom line is people will do whatever they do to save their own ass. You seen that? I don't know if you heard about this, but there was like a cruise ship, and a guy dropped his granddaughter in the water, and her granddaughter she drowned. They couldn't even find the body.
Are you fucked?
On a cruise ship, he decided to sue the company because you didn't have the thing right, you didn't have everything in place, so da-da-da.
And he won.
There's video evidence of this guy allowing all this to happen.
Like tossing her off, but he tries to cover his ass.
Like, he just wasn't doing his job. Like, here's the thing. He was holding her and he dropped her. And he tried to play it off like, oh, you guys didn't have your thing. Because so they were saying the bar is too low. There's like a little safety bar, so like little kids are walking by, they wouldn't just fall in. He held her when she fell. And he tried to blame it on the cruise and everything. You know, like, all cruise ships, here's the thing, all cruise ships are scummy anyway. But he tried to say it was this and that, and then he tried to get away with it. And then they pulled the tapes, thinking they wouldn't have seen him. But come on, like, the amount of money they stand to lose, they were going to go into every bag. They were going to pull everybody's recording to figure it out. But I say that to say this. People will defend anything, and she lost her job. She's labeled a racist, all this other stuff. I think they took the dog away from her, then they gave her the dog back. Plus, she's a white woman who basically gets everything handed to her. So, realistically, what did we expect was going to happen?
Okay,
But it's the same thing with Soho Karen.
Oh, she's cut.
She went.
She's cut.
She went on live TV and was like, "Hush, this is what happened."
But did you see today the news story about her? I'm so wow. You brought up exactly her too.
I didn't see it.
I'm gonna do it.
But what I'm saying is, here's the thing: the U.S. there's such a clusterfuck of happening in the U.S. It's like we get hit with so much shit all the time about what's going on in the city. There's not enough time to focus on anything. Like, we're getting hit with so much, like, someone's being shot every other week. Someone's doing something racist. Some white person decides, I'm going to make it my business to do something weird and then fuck up everybody else's day. There was just a report about these two black guys. There's a black guy on an airplane, and he took his shoes off on the plane.
Yeah.
Like, he's sitting down, he's buckled up, he took his shoes off, and they tried to kick him off the plane.
I don't understand that.
They tried to kick him off the plane. I'm just like, there was a guy who was literally punching people, yelling out racist epithets, and fucking, he didn't get kicked off the plane. Like, the guy didn't get kicked off the plane, but that guy, flight attendants were gonna get fired over that. They were unpaid. It was just real weird. So we know what time it is. It's the thing. I know what a time it is. It's like nothing
But
nothing phases me.
Okay, that's how you're sounding. And like that's why sometimes talking to you about these kinds of things kind of just like brings that up to the surface, right? The reality of your daily life, right? And like my daily life's a little bit different. You know, I'm from Canada, right? But the same thing is, like, that's, again, just to reiterate, I'm going to say what I just said. Talking to you sometimes is, no, fuck that. Talking to you, like, is just a refreshing reality. It refreshes my reality because you're saying, what did you expect? Of course they're going to defend her. You know what, dude? The thing that tilts me is that you're right. You're fucking absolutely right. Somewhere, somehow, some way, somebody's going to fucking look at this this bitch and continue to cry. Oh, she's doing this. Like I had a back and forth with somebody, right, about it. I'm like, I'm fucking jaded, this and that. Like I'm tired of shit because people are defending. I'm like, y'all are trying to act about. You're thinking the media is behaving a certain way, right?
But it is
because they're saying that in this podcast, right? The premise is not about just the Amy Cooper thing. The premise is now the media is gonna report stories like this, stories like George Floyd, stories like this, and in these people's minds, right? These individuals' minds is that that's what's going on. They're not looking at, oh, she made the conscious decision, right? She made the conscious decision to say, I'm gonna tell the police that a black man is threatening my life. Those are the words that came out of her mouth. That is an understanding of the systems that are at play, and do not deny it. If this was going into court, oh, how do you prove that? How do you prove that? You're literally threatening a black POC, a black man, using the police, knowing that that's a way to intimidate, or trying. She's struggling. Oh, how am I going to intimidate this man back? Because she felt, like in her story, she felt threatened. The way she talks about it, my friend, like the way she speaks about the situation is not only the fucking most fragile shit that I've ever heard, like, in my life. And you know what? I'm gonna just put it at a pause for a second. How I came across this bullshit was that I go back and forth with people about the vaccine. I go back and forth with people about this COVID shit because I'm fucking tired of how dumb people are, and they're like, oh, look what this doctor said, and it's like, what doctor is he? It's like, oh, he's an experimental medicine. I'm like, what? Oh, he hasn't practiced medical. He hasn't been in the medical practice for 10 years, but from 1995 to 2005, he studied virology. It's like, what is he doing now? Oh, he's on podcasts asking for fucking Patreon donations. It's like, bitch, the fucking real scientists out here, their fucking jobs pay them the money. How are you going to fucking get your information from somebody that their income comes from donations? Who you're really listening to? You know what I'm saying? But that's here nor there, because vaccine concern, or vaccine hesitancy, as it's called now, is normal. I understand it. It's great. Whatever. But this exchange came from somebody presenting a dude named Brett Weinstein about what Joe Rogan said, and this guy loves Joe Rogan. I'm like, bro, you like take him with a grain of salt. Like, you can't fucking everything he says. Oh, Joe Rogan. Oh, it's like, bro, you can't even. You're the one saying that we're all fucking listening for some fucked up shit. But really, at the end of the day, when your heroes get pressed, when your heroes get like told, yo, stay in your lane, Joe Rogan, you're misreading a medical paper. You're cherry picking a sentence, saying that that's the premise of the argument, when really, if you scroll down a little bit, you could see that the paper has no relation to what the fucking the viral load in a human body. This is fucking pertaining to poultry and turkey. It's like, this guy's fucking literally has millions of people, and they're like, that look for him for answers, and he's talking about how like the vaccine can manipulate, or the vaccine can mutate viruses. Any vaccine can mutate any virus, and it's like,
hold on. I hear what you're saying, but let's stick on the Joe. Let's talk about the Joe Rogan part.
After
okay, go ahead.
I'm just showing where I got this from. So this Brett, he's like, oh, listen to this Brett guy, blah blah blah. So I listened to I'm taking the time out of my day to listen to what these people listen to. I'm taking the time out of my day, and you know what? He said his piece about the Joe Rogan thing. Cool, whatever. I listened. Right after, they start talking about this fucking Amy Cooper shit, and that's what I'm talking. That's what I'm talking to you about, my friend. I'm talking that these fucking vaccine hesitant people, they claim, oh, we don't trust the science. You're falsifying these fucking studies. You're fucking attaching bullshit to after bullshit. Without COVID, these are what these types of people are talking about. They're defending Amy Cooper's. They're saying things like, oh, George Floyd's history. Like, sorry. Like, George, you know how people bring up George Floyd's history, like how that somehow matters, right? Yeah. You know how that's a thing, right? They fucking, in the podcast right now, they brought up Christian Cooper, is a black man. They brought up his history. Do you guys know that he has a history of threatening people and making people feel threatened? That's where this shit comes from. Is people like, oh, look what he used to do. He used to threaten people. And it's like, really? George Floyd's criminal past is why he's being kneeled on for 9 minutes? These connections are being made by these people, and I can't stand it. They're fucking pretend vaccine hesitancy or anti-vax people saying, oh, the government's controlling us, blah, blah, blah. All these they're all mixed into bullshit. They're all the same fucking people. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to fucking uncover the fact that people are fucking all bullshit. Nobody, the anti-vax people are the same people that fucking voted for fucking Donald Trump. The anti-vax people are the same people that Trump's asked the question, do you denounce fucking white supremacy? He knows he can't say that because anti-vaxxers are white supremacists. You can't show me a white supremacist that has the vaccine. Show me a fucking person that was at January 6th that has the vaccine. These are the connections that I'm trying to make. If in Congress, I don't know, I think it was like 2 weeks ago when they're trying to, they're pressing Dr. Fauci. Like, these are politicians talking to a doctor. That's like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You going up to fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, being a mechanic, and being like, yo, you shouldn't lift weights like that. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You're not able to comprehend the English language in the medical terms. You're trying to listen to what you want. And that's what I'm being accused of too. Like with this back and forth, this guy's like, I'm like, yo, I brought up whatever I just brought up about the Amy Cooper. I'm like, yo, you made me listen to this podcast and you're like, these guys are smart, blah, blah, blah. They're fucking virologists, da, da, da. But do you know about this Amy Cooper thing? And da, 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 da. He's like, oh, I don't know, man. I'm like, yo, Amy Cooper's this is white fragility. He's like, oh, I think white fragility is like, it makes me feel weird. And it's like, boom, bim, bam, biz. You got booked. The same, like, white fragility is real. Systemic racism is real. Okay? The people that argue that shit, they're the fucking ones posting fake information on the vaccine. They're the ones defending. Amy Cooper. Are you fucking dumb? I'm dumb.
All right, let me get in this. So let's start with.
Sorry.
Let's start with heart carrying Amy Cooper. Realistically, she was gonna have to fall on this sword and defend herself, regardless. She was gonna have to. She's not gonna eat this out. Here's the thing: she's labeled a racist. She's not gonna eat this out. If she said anything about the Jewish community, she would have went 10 toes in on being like, yo, I apologize, da 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 da. Let's put that out there.
See?
So
No. Well, I want you to actually.
Hold on. Let me go. She knows that she has. If she didn't have any support, she would apologize. But she knows she has enough support that she can tailor it her way. That's the way the game is played. Realistically, right and wrong really doesn't really mean anything when there's a one side that will give you the benefit of the doubt regardless. And if you're white, you will get the benefit of the doubt. It is what it is. Now, the media works to play a certain narrative. The podcast I didn't listen to, the one that you listened to, they are right about the media doing what they're doing regardless.
Yeah,
but they've been doing it. Here's the thing: they've been doing it their whole entire existence. But it's now that it's turned against white people, there's a problem about it. When the media was showing that, the 10 o'clock news bullshit, they were just playing shit up to show how certain areas were just getting destroyed by quote unquote urban blight that they want to use. So they would darken people's skin color. They darkened OJ's skin color. They would darken people's skin color. They wouldn't even post retractions on shit. The media is fucked up in regardless. So you have to take that with a grain of salt. Like, they play the side that they want to play. They play on fear. And whatever, they know fear gets them the clicks. So they will play on it. So if they're like, if the big story is that an immigrant, people are afraid of immigrants and they're taking over the U.S., they will amplify. They'll search through any story they can find that has any immigrant doing anything bad, and be like, "Look, the immigrants are coming into our country and they're terrorizing us." That's their job. That's how they make money. They're not. They have no morals. Like I keep going back to this, but they're not an entity that has a moral. They're backed up by the financial gain. This is why they're able to have people promote whatever the fuck they want, and it doesn't matter what it is. They don't have to. So anytime the news reports anything about this is a substance you can take that's supposed to give you energy, all that other shit, they don't have to do any type of actual training in it because you paid them the purse taxi for them to come and speak on your show. They don't do any other thing. They toss like softball questions about whatever they're talking about, and they know what they do. The media that's the way the game is played. And as long as you know that, it is what it is. A lot of white people is finally catching on to like the whole media is being against the media not having actual morals, and it's like, oh, well, it's now everything's against us, so now we're upset. You can't play both games. Like if you were listening to the media about all these other things, then when it's your turn, you can't be like, oh, well, now it's poison. Like, I already knew certain neighborhoods were bad. I already knew that there's redlining around the United States. Like, I knew about all these things, but now that it's turned on white people, like, oh, they don't want to promote it. I mean, they don't want to put it. First of all, the media's not covering a lot of these attacks. Like, they're focusing on police brutality because it's a hot topic now, and they're not focusing on shit they need to focus on. Like, I'm gonna go back a couple years when fucking that football player got fucking arrested and he got kicked out of school because a white girl said that he raped her.
Yeah.
To find out,
yep,
she was about that. She was just a slut. Like, and then her boyfriend found out that something happened and he got kicked out. He lost all this. Like, all that happened. The media did not. They didn't go above and beyond to like
To report
show
it.
on the news. Like, they didn't go above and beyond to correct it. The story was a black man assaulted a white girl, and when I say white man, I mean black man. They're both teenagers. The guy, anything that happens to anything that happens negatively towards black individuals, they are men and women. They're grown people. And if it's a fucking white person, it's like, oh, it's a child, it's a teenager, like the word gymnastics that they use in it. But I'm not mad at it because I know the game. Okay. You have to. Here's the thing. There's certain people that have a certain level of. If you can't read something, look at something, listen to something, and pull your own information from it, then kill yourself. Like you're no use to anyone. Actually, I'm fault. You shouldn't kill yourself.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
There's plenty of positions that people need you to do menial labor, and you can excel at.
Yeah.
It. If I tell you that I need you to wipe this window 4 times an hour and make sure it's spick and spam, and that's the only thing you can do, perfect. Like I can't be mad at that. If you're built like a robot, you see something and you regurgitate it, then there's places for you. But your opinion doesn't matter if you can't pull information from different sources and come up with your own solution. But that's just the media side. Now let me go to Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan.
Before you go to Joe Rogan, because I do have an inquiry.
Go ahead.
In the podcast, okay, these guys, just the way they paint that, like you have knowledge of the media is gonna do what the media does. It doesn't follow rules, right? But they're just saying that, oh, everywhere you look is BLM, everywhere you look is this, and it fucking just aggravated me because it's like, what the fuck is wrong with bringing people to justice? What is wrong with fucking fighting for a better tomorrow? I don't understand why that.
The real problem is that here's the thing, you can fight for whatever you want to fight for, but if it impedes on my life in any way, then we have a problem.
Okay,
that's literally what the argument is. The argument is like, yo, you can do your whole Black Lives Matter shit. You can do your Stop Asian Hate. You can do your whole trans defending, the gay defending. You can do all that. But once you start impeding on my life at any point in time,
like when it actually impedes, right?
Like people can't make gay jokes. Well, I can't say jokes.
You
People
can,
say gay shit. Here's the thing. There's jokes. People take jokes different ways, but it's like, if you go to comedy, it's literally like, you know who you're going to hear. If you don't like the jokes, you can leave. But it's, in a business environment, if you say something off-colored, then you can get in real trouble with that. But people want to pretend like those rules don't really apply. I'm like, it's the same thing as sleeping with somebody that you work with. Like, people pretend that, oh, that's not really a big deal. But most couples marry for people they met at work. Like, that's a thing. So we're not gonna act like these things don't exist. Like, you get me? Like, we try to play that, oh, here's the line and no one crosses it. The line get crossed all the time. The real thing is like, yo, if someone makes a joke, if someone makes a joke and they're like, yo, I'm not really cool with that, then leave it alone. That's the only problem. People will defend like, oh, I just made a joke. Why are you being weird about it? I'm like, yo, if someone made a joke and they're really feeling like, yo, don't make that joke, don't make those type of jokes around them. But they're like, oh, why can't I do this? They'll make up a whole scenario about like, I'm being attacked. It's the whole thing about that girl who kicked the fucking back the blue, and they were saying she's fucking what's the term they said she was? That was a hate crime against police. But then police can fucking spray paint over fucking murals. Mm-hmm. Other people can do that. It's not considered a hate crime. So I'm just like, it's very weird that we're gonna have this. Here's the thing. There's this whole mental gymnastic of, oh, I don't like the term. I don't like this term. Like Black Lives Matter. I don't like this term. What about all lives?
Yeah.
Why are you kneeling for the flag? What about the troops? No one gives a fuck about the troops. Realistically, no one gives a fuck about the troops because if you really cared, all this extra spending that we spend on all these weapons and shit like that, we would funnel it back to the troops. Let's just say you do. I don't know how much a tour is, like how long that is, but if you do a tour, let's say 2 years, you're most likely gonna die. But you personally shouldn't pay taxes.
Okay, yeah.
That's reasonable, right? You personally. So if you're the head of your household, and you go to the army, and let's say fucking you come back, you fought like 2 wars, you come back, blah blah blah. It should be 2 wars, but that seems a little much. But you come back, you personally shouldn't pay taxes. The government should fit the bill.
But
we've established that we have enough money to get bail out all these companies. The people that they supposedly like, oh, the troops. No one gets a fuck about the troops because realistically, you guys get 1 day and everybody uses the cookout, and that's it. You barely get VA fucking benefits. I'm not talking about the U.S. again. You barely get any VA benefits, and most of the time, you guys come back with fucking like mental problems, and it's like, yo, these guys we train these guys to kill our enemies. They come back, they're fucked up in the head. They still know how to kill people. We're not gonna be like, all right, let's get this person to somewhere that they're a functional society member, but we can let out fucking child molesters. Child molesters can get out of prison, and they can be repeat offenders, and nothing really happens with these guys. I'm just saying, like,
I don't know what to say.
I'm just saying, like, our priorities are real fucked up.
As a whole, like, there's so many little things, like you just mentioned, the convicteds. They should just have shitty jobs, or I don't know what it is, but dude, that's why I'm trying to live as long as I can. So I want to see how all this shit unfolds, man, because it's thing. You pretty much explain certain things, like that calm my nerves down. But it's just, regardless of what you're saying, like, because I do acknowledge, that, people are gonna. There's like fake performativism or fake outrage. That's the thing.
But there's a lot of money in this thing.
Yeah,
there's a lot of money in it, and you can gain a lot if you pick a side and you go hard.
That's why I remember you were saying something about like, realistically what?
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say something like that's not really pertaining, but it's like I remember you were saying something about Candace Owens, like it pays to be a black conservative or something like that. It pays.
It does.
Yeah,
there's a lot of money.
Whenever you said that, that's really incredible, because if you look at it, like, for example, the person I just tagged you in, right? Mm-hmm. His name's Camille and stuff like that, and he's on the protecting of Amy Cooper's side, and it's like, how, why? I don't understand. I don't really get it. But then when you say things like, it pays, so.
Here's the thing. Once you start saying a rhetoric, even if you don't believe it, if people believe that you believe it enough, you can make money. Being a black or brown Republican, and you going hard about anti-vax,
you're rich.
All that can get you money. Like, you can build a career off that. But realistically, in the long run, that can lead badly for your family. Like, you're spewing all this hate and whatnot, and then the same hate you're spewing, like, oh, why did you do this? Why did you do that? We understand that your kids and your grandkids are not safe from the shit you're spewing. Like, if you talk people into doing harm to other people, or just giving them a reason to be like, it's not my fault that nothing is working out in my life, it's these people's fault. If you give them that scapegoat and then they react to what you're giving them, it's going to come to a point that, this is what I say about the whole freedom of speech thing, it's going to come to a point that we can't be like, oh, freedom of speech. The bottom line is that, when is it going to draw the line in the sand that you can't just say some wild shit that incite people? Because Trump basically incited people.
Oh, he did.
The vice president, they wanted to hang him talking about he's a traitor or whatnot. I'm just
Bro, yo, you gotta.
then here's the thing. But then everybody came to the conclusion that they didn't impeach him. They didn't do all those other things. So it's like they're all okay with that. It's like all the Republicans are still riding for their guy, Trump. Is the thing, and it's not even like they believe in Trump. It's just that they're part of the party, and you have to go with your guy no matter what, because they're not gonna introduce anybody else. This next running, they're most likely just gonna have Trump on the ballot and see if he can get it.
Nah.
But it really doesn't mean anything.
I don't think he can.
Years.
I don't think he can run.
He can run.
Nah, I don't think so.
He's not impeached.
Because no, I think it had to do with
he can legally run again.
It had to do with him not being at the inauguration.
Not showing up, that's nothing, man. Come on, let's be real.
No.
They're not gonna get him on that.
I don't know. I think it's in the.
If they didn't get him on camera talking about watching the riot happen, watching those terrorists.
Okay.
They're not gonna get him on this.
I'm just asking. I was asking, isn't that under the Constitution, or maybe I heard it wrong? Because when you don't show up for the inauguration, it's not impeachment. I'm not talking about impeachment. It's just when you don't show up because it's part. No matter what, you know what I mean. No matter what, you have to follow the shit. And you were the former president, and you didn't show up for the new thing. That's odd. But I guess I think I'm wrong. I'm wrong about that. He can run.
I also want you to understand, when he became president, the 4 years that he was president, everyone questioned what the Constitution said and what the Constitution meant. Everyone. They didn't know he can do certain things. He was just doing shit, and people was like, can the president do that? And no one really checked him on that. So we already know that the power that the president has is limitless, because it clearly was established that he's able to do a whole bunch of shit and get away with all that. So when fucking Barack was talking about, I can't do this, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Same thing with fucking this slow ass dude. You can do whatever the fuck you want. If you really want to get shit done, you can do it. Let's just be honest. We've established that Trump was doing shit that was borderline, like, literally it was against our Constitution, and he was just getting away with it. His son was technically talking to the Russians. It's like, there was a lot of real against American shit happening with his whole family, and we were just like, they let it
happen.
Because we're like the weirdest first world country to be like, does no one know what the fuck the rules are out here? Like, no one understood the rules. Like, people who were lawyers and like that, these people went to school for like 15. I mean, you go to school for like what, 7+ years to become a lawyer, or whatever the case may be. Don't hold me to the numbers. I'm not really too sure. But you go to school for that long to not understand the law. Like, there was a bunch of judges, the bunch of Supreme Court judges, like, people were very confused about, like, what he's saying, is it actually doable under being the president? Like, doesn't he need to bring in, like, the Senate?
Is he allowed to do that shit?
Is he allowed? There was a lot of that talk. I was just like,
I know.
He's like the 45th president. What the fuck you mean? Is he allowed to do it?
I know.
Where were the lines before? Don't get me wrong. Like, every couple years, like, we look at our original rules and be like, does that still apply to us today? But like, they wasn't even doing that. He was just doing shit. But it is what it is. So now I'm gonna move on to Joe Rogan.
Okay, Joe Rogan.
A likable person. I like him.
I like him.
Does he say some? Here's the thing. People are looking at him like he's a type of expert on shit. But the bottom line is, he's an average guy who just likes who's a fighter. Like, he's an average guy.
He's a little above average. I'll give him that.
What do you mean above average? I'm like, when you talk,
I'm just giving him a little. I'm boosting him a little. I'm boosting him a bit.
I don't
He's
understand,
cool.
But here's the thing. What I'm saying, he's an average guy. I'm not using
Fear factor.
I'm not taking shots at him. I'm just saying, like,
yeah, I know you're not.
If I talk to Joe Rogan, like, I'm talking about everyday shit. I'm talking about MMA. I'm talking about sports and all like this. So he's like an average guy. He's a popular average guy. Like, when I say average, I'm not taking a shot at anything significantly, like, but his role in the overall goings of the United States is the same as mine's. Like, he's not a mover or shaker. Like, he doesn't change anything. So when I say that, I'm like,
but he has influence.
he is influenced because he's famous. Everyone who's famous has some type of influence, but his thing. What people are trying to nail him to is like, he's just a guy just talking about how frustrated he is with the government telling us certain things. And if you sit down and if you take that note and you sit down and listen, it's like, if you listen to him, I should say, it's literally like the middle class. I should say the majority middle class is literally him speaking.
Yeah,
and
I hear you.
He shouldn't be looked at like
he is looked at like that. He is looked at like that.
But his thing, he shouldn't be looking at it as a former person. Like, if he's talking about space travel, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna listen to when he's talking about space travel, but I'm like, he's not an expert in that. He's not an expert in all these things. But he's an average guy who's talking from the. I'm gonna assume he's talking from the heart because I don't know him to be. I don't know. But his thing, yeah. So I don't know him to be like someone just to talk shit, just to talk. Like, it's not him just talking shit, just to be like, oh, like, he's just talking like, if the government's been telling, since this whole thing started, we've been told that it's the virus came from fish market. I mean,
this and that, blah blah blah. Yeah.
It was like the wet markets. That's what they were saying. But then when people was like, no, it came from this facility when they were doing tests with the drugs. That's what everybody says it is. Once they told us everything came from the wet markets, that was it. That was the protocol. You say anything against that, you got into fucking, the government was on your ass, YouTube was on your, Facebook was on your ass. You got into serious trouble if you say anything regardless of that. Then later down the line, way later down the line, we realized that the people who said this shit was true. That it came from Wuhan. They had a coronavirus lab and it came from there. The infection rate came from there. Even one of the doctors who was working there was recording himself talking about all this shit. I don't even know if that guy even popped back up. They probably put him in one of the secret jails in China. But that was the talking point. Now they're telling us, oh, you can wear a mask, you cannot wear a mask. Then they're saying you can wear a double mask. Then they're saying, well, you might need booster shots with the shit. I'm just like, dog. At some point you gotta hold your cards a little closer to your vest. Like, yo, just let niggas know, like, hey, this is what it is. Wear your mask. We're gonna close down some shit. If you don't listen to us and you get caught out here slipping, you might die.
That's basically what is the message that's going on right now.
But that's not
That's the message.
Like, oh, the message.
It's been lost in translation lately. It's been lost in translation because people want to people don't have purpose in their life. So they fucking go and think the government's trying to kill them and this and that. Meanwhile, they're paying their taxes and fucking stopping out of your fucking red light, following the rules because, oh wait, that's going to save my life. But when the government says this is going to save your life, no, it don't. No. Because people don't give a fuck. The same people that fucking think the earth is flat. The same people that fucking think the fucking end of the world was in 2012 and the end of the world was Y2K. People need that shit. Like you said, maybe there's money to be made off of it, right? How do you know all this fucking anti-vax, anti-COVID shit, all these stories like, oh, we found out the real story, bro. How isn't it the exact same as politics?
Here's another thing. There's
money to be made in all these fucking stories. There's money to be made in all these fucking there's conspiracy. What's really going on? Why do we need to do double mask? Bitch, we don't know what the fuck. Have you seen what COVID does to people? Have you seen what COVID does to fucking young people, young healthy people, even old people, everybody? It doesn't even matter what you are. It's rare. It's rare that it happens, but what about the people that it has happened to? Even people that survive COVID. What about comorbidities? Comorbidities are fucked up. You don't even know anymore. And then now you're trying to combat that virus because guess what? You have to or else everybody's going to die. And then you have a vaccine. You have to speed it up. And it's mRNA. It's the first chance we get to use this technology since its discovery in the 90s and all that shit. And people are like, no, this is fucked up. Look, what? And then people are making fake ass websites like fucking COVID. Like the most funniest fake website that I found is like COVID vaccine deaths.com, literally COVID vaccine, and it's the most fakest shit ever, where there's some people sitting down in like their fucking family homes and talking about the vaccine and how they killed their son, and it's literally like people put effort and time and money into this shit because why? It's just like politics. There's money to be fucking made. There's the people who you listen to is not Joe Rogan, but yet that's who the population goes to. You said it yourself. He's an average guy. He's not looked at as an average guy. He doesn't act like an average guy. He doesn't make money like an average person. And so therefore he is not perceived in that way. And you know that, and I know that. But not talking about him. I'm just trying to say is that all the bullshit, there's money to be fucking made, yo. And it's just fucking annoying. That's all. And everybody that's fucking all anti this, anti government. No, you're not anti government. You pay taxes. Like, it's BS. And then you're gonna have fucking Kyle Rittenhouses fucking walking all over the world. You were saying all these stories. Oh, it came from the lab and this and that and all the stories and shit.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I want to focus on famous people just saying shit.
Yeah.
People will gravitate to people who have money, regardless.
Yes, correct.
So they're most likely to listen to this thing. If you see a person you perceive to be homeless and they're giving you advice, most people's like, this guy's homeless. What the fuck?
Yo, he homeless.
Let me give you an example. So Einstein, they said that Einstein wore the same outfit every day. That's what they said. He purchased the same 5 shirts and the same 5 pants, and he wore that every day.
Okay.
If you didn't know who he was and you seen him around and you talked to him, you're like, yo, you trying to spit game to me and you wear the same shit every day?
Okay.
Our whole society is like, yo, we'll rather listen to someone who's wearing a chain, wearing jewelry, who's blinged out.
I see
That's
what
I'm saying. The people who have here's the thing. The people who really have money, those niggas wear dad jeans.
Can I add something? 1 second to your thing. I'm going to let you finish, but I need to say this.
Go ahead.
100%. You're correct. We're listening. This is the exact reason why we are in a prolonged pandemic. And this is exactly why we have people dying every day that are preventable because of what you just said. Everybody's listening to the people with chains and subscribers, and no one's listening to the people that have fucking residencies, man. Nobody's listening to current.
Fauci wasn't putting his foot on these bitches' necks where he needed to. He was doing that whole political bullshit. The last one he started checking people was like, yo, do you know the fuck I am? He was out here talking like, in front of Congress, whoever he was fucking talking to. He was like, yo, do you know the fuck I am? You're an idiot.
He said, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. That's what he said.
I'm paraphrasing, but he was really put out his dick. He was like,
no, you're right.
You know the fuck I am?
No, you're right.
I went to school for this shit. But he wasn't really coming at these people because realistically, everybody be coming to Congress or wherever it is, and they be trying to like, This thing, it's the same people trying to explain what the fuck the internet is to old heads who don't know what the fuck the internet is, and it's annoying. I'm just like, dog, if you can't grasp your head around what the fuck the internet is, then don't do anything with the internet. If you can't understand we shouldn't have to retard our voice because the people who's in charge.
But that's the issue. That's the issue, man.
But there's another thing. I went like a little too long.
No, you're good. This is good.
It's just that there's a lot of things that we need to focus on, but we focus on popularity a lot more.
Social media.
Fauci, in the beginning, he tells us like, hey, this is what it is. Yo, they should have been as gruesome as possible when people started fucking up. They should have ran up and been like, yo, we're gonna put videos up on our thing is Gov, like all our government shit's on Gov. I probably it's probably for everybody's on Gov, but whatever. But the US shit, like anything that's in the government, it goes to like .gov. They should have just been showing people on repeat because everybody understands fear. That we've been pushing fear for the longest. So why not use the one tool that we know works? This whole fear mongering, why haven't we used that one tool? They didn't want to be like, oh, because in the beginning, it was a whole bunch of white people dying, right? Then they at some point was like, oh, it's not really white people, it's black people. But then we look into it and we're like, no, it's white people dying.
It's all man.
But no. But what it was that white people were dying. This is the thing. White people were dying more because there's more white people. there's more white people, so there's more people to die.
Yep.
It's the
Yes,
same
sir.
thing. It's the same thing when you say, "Oh, black people do all the crime." I'm like, there's more white people. There's no way in hell that if there's like 100 white people and there's 3 black people doing all the crime. Like that doesn't make sense. But it is what it is. We as a society we cherry pick what the fuck we want to listen to, but our society is sick and we don't want to change that. It is what it is. If you're gonna listen to somebody, you should take everything that everybody says with a grain of salt. But if you listen to someone, even if you respect them, you gotta pull up some receipts, dog. Once they were telling us that once they didn't go all in on the shit came from China, blah 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 blah, that's when people started losing it. It's like, yo, why are you telling us different information? Then they started retracting it. Then they had the internet. Then they had the big companies started policing.
What you're saying?
They had YouTube,
I need to interrupt.
Facebook.
I need to interrupt you because that's not whatever you're saying was not applicable for me. There was never misconstrued information in my area. Like it was straight up. As soon as we found out about it, as soon as I found out, I knew it was from Wuhan. Like I never had these like stories because it makes me think about how like again, there's money to be made and shit. You know what I mean, bro? You have to really see who's on the forefront of information, and then it trickles down, right? People who you know. I'm telling you.
You have to understand that we, as the U.S., we supply everybody with their entertainment and the majority of news. So we create. Here's the thing. If the U.S. as a society was like, yo, the sky's purple, we're going to convince some people the sky is purple, dog. We have the money to convince people the sky is purple. I don't care if your if auntie and grand tells you that it's blue, we will convince people that the sky is purple. We have the money and we can slowly turn people. Like we have the algorithms and shit like that. We have all that information to pull in to convince everybody whatever the fuck we want to convince people.
Yeah, like the end of the world.
Like I'm saying, it's
the capacity to convince people of something from the media. The first thing in my life was Y2K, and that was without the internet. Then the second thing was 2012. Pardon?
Think about it. Was it without the internet?
Yeah, Y2K was year 2000.
That was an internet thing.
I knew my parents, I knew about it. Everybody I knew knew about it, and the internet wasn't really a thing in 1999 for me.
But the Y2K thing was the whole computers are gonna shut down. And
yeah, but I'm saying that was more of a non-internet inflated, right? Whereas 2012 End of the World was completely everything on YouTube and shit like that. That's what I'm trying to get at. But we're still talking about the same thing, where the means to convince a population is readily available both on and offline. Correct?
That is true. But the flat Earth thing, I gotta touch on this. This is my favorite subject to talk about.
Wow.
The flat Earth thing, it's hilarious to me because what does it gain if I prove you wrong or right about it? It's one of those things that I'm like,
people need to be right about something.
But here's the thing, like, is it round? Maybe. Is it flat? Maybe. Don't really care.
Oh,
it doesn't. Here's the thing.
You want to know an interesting one?
Go ahead.
If the Earth is flat, right? That means the sun is directly above us at all times, correct?
We could be on an angle.
Well, if that would mean
the world would mean at an angle. Is that
okay,
not?
but still, that would be direct sunlight 24/7, correct?
No.
How is it not direct sunlight then? If the world's flat.
If it's flat, it can still be at an angle. What are you talking about?
But if it's flat, where does the sun go? It rotates around it?
We rotate around the sun. What are you talking about, my guy?
Well, yeah, no. I know that, but I'm just saying.
The Earth spins.
If we're
at an angle and the Earth, get a piece of paper. If we're at an angle, right? You can spin that thing. If you have a light in front of you, you can spin it around.
I see what you're saying.
Is what I'm saying, but
I don't think. But some people just think that it just stays flat, right? So if that was the case, which you didn't say that, but somebody was like, "Oh, wouldn't we just be on fire? Direct sunlight 24/7?" But I hear what you're saying. Anyways, flat Earth.
I can fight this whole flat Earth thing because there's enough. I'm not even looking shit up. Is this enough information I just know about the world to be like, yeah, this is possible? And do I care if it's possible? Not really, because it changes nothing if it's round or flat. Like, it's one of those things. Is like, well, are we really breathing air? Is the thing that we're breathing called air? If it's called something else, it doesn't matter to me.
When you say
I'm still gonna breathe.
when you say there's a possibility, like, I know you're genuine about that, and I don't think there's a possibility at all.
Perfectly fine. There's a
At all.
possibility. It's the same thing if you not believing a higher power. There's a possibility.
There's
that you
scientific
may be wrong.
evidence that the Earth is round, right?
Is there?
But yeah, I mean, dude, again, let's talk about experts and people who study shit.
Okay. But,
You know what I mean? Same thing with the vaccines and shit. Who we
but
talk,
here's the thing.
you know,
Here's the thing. Let's talk about experts. Experts, they have what's the word? It's a hypothesis, and they challenge that hypothesis every chance they get. They make an educated guess with the information they have at the time. At one point, Pluto was a planet. Then they were like, Pluto's no longer a planet. Now we're making it a planet again. I'm just stating out, we look at things and we change. It's the same thing. I've been like, don't call people retards. We've learned shit and we unlearn shit all the time.
Yes, except for math. You don't
Math?
unlearn. You can't unlearn 2 + 2 and relearn it, right?
That's true.
So that's what I'm
Like
trying
I
to
said-
say is the Earth is not flat, ever. It's never
Hey.
going to be.
If people believe in like 10 billion gods, you get to be reincarnated when you come back. There's aliens. If we want to believe in all these other things, Earth is flat. It's not really a big leap.
Okay, there you go. I can meet you
reason-
there. It's not really
the
a
other
big
reason-
leap because I'm the one that says that kind of stuff. I'm not religious.
Here's
I
another-
think believing the flat Earth is just as it's not the exact same because at the end of the day, spirituality has some unexplainable things, right? Like, it's hard. It's hard, man.
You mean so believing in is the thing. If you believe you're happy, you can convince yourself to be happy.
I'm talking about like unexplainable things that
But I'm saying, like, if you can convince yourself of something, you can
Okay, yeah.
change your
Yes.
outlook on world.
yes,
So
sir.
if I believe that
yes,
there's
sir.
there's a higher power, and when shit goes bad, it's not my fault.
It's the higher power, yeah.
I'm just being tested.
Yep.
It makes people feel better. That's just what it is.
That's what
It's
dude.
a safety blanket. It's a
I
safety
noticed.
blanket.
Your exact point. I noticed when I was age 10. That's the thing I exactly noticed. I'm like, why are people using this shit as a cushion, bro? It makes it disingenuous. Those
But
were my exact thoughts.
But here's the thing. I want you to understand this.
It made it so
If the
disingenuous.
majority of people did not believe in a higher power, what's stopping them from killing everybody?
And you need people to make money, so keep them controlled. We know.
You need people to control, but like, here's the thing. Realistically, if there wasn't some quote unquote boogeyman that's gonna torture me for eternally, what's stopping me from doing good things? A lot of people don't do good things just to do good things. There's the benefit of like, oh, I'm doing this good thing so other people know that I'm doing this good thing, and then it's also like, well, even if people don't notice on the back end, God sees me doing this good thing, so he's gonna put that he's gonna let me know that I'm doing the right thing. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, people believe that. I can just be a piece of shit. Here's the thing. If I knew for 100% that when I died, there's nothing for me at the end, I'm a piece of shit because I want to be a piece of shit. There's no reason for me to be good.
See, this is an incredible topic.
Here's the thing.
This is
If
the
you
topic.
100%, listen, if you 100% know there is nothing happens at the end. It doesn't matter how good you are, how bad you are. There is nothing but end. If you 100% believe that, why be nice at all?
Okay, I'm gonna attack you minimally right now. I 100% don't believe in something after, and I'm nice. It's just there's no. I don't think.
Do you believe?
Hold on.
if
Let me
you
finish.
believe-
Let me finish. I
Go
love
ahead,
you.
Go ahead.
I think what you've just stated is the literal poison on the planet, where people think that all over the place, and that's why we have a fucked up civilization, because people do things because they think it's good after death. And that's another reason why I fucking hate religion, because of that exact thought process that exists within so many people. And you'll never know. You'll never ever know, because that shit the people, they keep to themselves. They say, oh, I'm only being a decent person because I'm scared of after death. Well, what about people that are not scared of after death and they're still good? What kind of developed psyche do you have if you think that death determines life? Life determines life. After death is, you should be comfortable with the fact that there's nothing after death, so that you live the best life you can. That's how I live.
So you just do good things just to do good things.
And when you do something good, there's no way in hell that you don't feel the positive, like, literal energy, like seeing your fucking mom, calling a friend, doing whatever. Oh, hey, something inherently that's good. That's not, you're not trying to go feed a homeless person out of your way, but if you do, that shit feels good, right? You're not doing that because I'm feeding this homeless person because I'm going into heaven. If there was a God and you're doing that and you have those low-key thoughts, you're going to hell, just so you know. That's why I don't believe in that shit, because if God is all-knowing, he'll gonna know that you're just doing something just to be good. But I really don't think that you think that about what you just said. I think part of you thinks that because I know you to be a good person no matter what.
But here's the thing, there's levels to it. Like, I can justify murder.
So can I.
So
can I. How is that hard though?
But justifying murder, like if you murder somebody, and if you murder someone, technically, that's like one of the great sins. And if I really believe and I murdered somebody, I'm like, oh, he's gonna forgive me because I murdered this person.
Correct.
Murder is murder, and you're not supposed to murder, and you break one of the rules.
What's the premise? The reason is very. The reason is how you're getting judged, right?
Yeah.
The reason for the murder is how you're getting judged. So you killing a person because, you wanted to for no reason, there's no forgiveness for that. Not even if you believe yourself, because that's delusion. And then those types of people are often a danger to society, and that's why they get put into fucking mental institutions and shit, because they cause crime. Trust me, bro. I've seen a lot of fucking criminal fucking things. These people, a lot of it is God. A lot of it is about right and wrong inside their minds and shit. It's super, super the best, bro. I love it. That's why, like, on this type of, like, the God stuff, I'm very ready to go, because that's just that's like something, that's my kind of thing. I'll suck that titty.
It doesn't dictate my life because I don't really care at this point.
I know it doesn't. Don't worry. I know.
So I say things. Here's the thing. I say things that are off colored. I make jokes about things. But like, I don't. Here's the thing. But I can always get canceled, and I can always technically destroy my life, right? If I get caught off guard, here's the thing. If I get caught off guard, if I say the right phrase, the right combination of phrase on the right day, and someone hears me, they can go loop me into this whole cancel culture shit. That's all I'm saying is like, there's levels.
I've never heard you genuinely say something that would get you canceled. Genuinely, like you went out of your way to disrespect. You know what I mean? Like that's not. See, that's the thing is, between me and you, bro, you come off as emotions are not good. You come off as I'm never gonna, nothing you say, nothing anybody says to you can hurt my feelings and shit, which might be true, but emotions are definitely something I feel like you were taught to not pay attention to, or even give in to, like, validity. Like, someone's emotions is not your concern. Your concern is not somebody's emotions, and not even yours. So that's why when you say all these mean things, I kind of like, my feelings are like, you're not genuine when you are like rude, and you have these weird perspectives, and like, fuck these people, blah blah blah. Because at the end of the day, hurting somebody, like the end game to all, like, let's say transphobia, or let's say racism, or whatever it is, which again, like I said, you don't ever say something like that. Like, and if you're trying to suggest that you have thoughts that are like extreme and you just don't share them, but on an off day, like they might be revealed and you're like, oh, so you're just suggesting that you're hiding your true self from reality, in which I don't also think that, because if you really believed in yourself, then you would say what you wanted to say, bro. But when you say certain things about people and they actually make people feel bad, there's no point in saying them. It's not helping people. You're not people are saying what they're saying about transgenders and gay people because, just like you said, there's money to be made. And I want to work hard, and I maybe have said this in the past, but I want to work hard to never be part of that crew. Never be part of the there's money to be made crew. You know? We're not doing this just because there's money to be made. And like, I wanted to back up on like the Joe Rogan thing where just the flack he was getting, right? If you go recently on his Twitter, is like he misread a study, and it's like he's causing, in the medical world, it's a pandemic. You can't have people with large influences doing things that have an effect that can prolong shit and actually it can snowball. It's called inciting and spreading misinformation. This is why you've noticed some fucking censorship and people fucking put COVID like fact checking and this and that, because people suck ass that have influence. It's all the influencers' fault. And Joe Rogan's kind of slipped up because he fucking presented a study that was done on poultry, but he didn't read it. And he's just like, oh, look at this, vaccine mutation. It's like, bro, you're not even talking about COVID.
I think that he read it, and
he read it. He read the study, but it's not even about
COVID. It was chicken pox.
It's not about COVID. It's fucking. It was a type of herpes called MPV something. And
it was about not herpes. It was about freaking chicken pox.
You're talking about like 2 days ago.
I believe we were talking about chicken pox.
But
same guy. He's like the same guy came out. The same guy who wrote it came out as no, you're wrong, blah blah. But here's the thing. Joe Rogan brings on people onto his thing.
So I'm just
all the time.
But
I'm saying his thing.
Okay.
The reason why Joe Rogan gets less. This is like people can be mad at him about this, but the reason that most people will not.
It's not outrage. I'm not trying to be outraged here. I'm just trying to be like.
His thing. We can agree him reading it and him. His thing. It's a regular guy reading and interpreting and applying it to his life now.
No, he's not regular. Come on now.
He's a regular guy.
He doesn't make regular money. Guy. Sorry, man.
You can be a billionaire and be a regular guy.
I'm sorry. That's no.
You can't be a billionaire and be a regular guy?
Show me. And if you show me a regular guy, if you show me a regular,
let me explain what a regular guy is to me.
I'll show you.
Let me explain what a regular guy is.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
You go to work. You have a house. You pay your taxes. You take your family to vacation.
Too vague. That's everybody.
Regular guy.
He's not.
He doesn't. You don't see his thing. You don't
regular.
See him stunting. You don't see him stunting like rappers.
But he stunts his knowledge. He stunts his perspective because that's his podcast.
But his thing. He's in a realm where he talks. He's expressing his thoughts. But like I said. I'm not gonna. We're not crucifying him. That's what
I'm not. I'm not crucifying. No,
what I'm saying is, he's reading things, he's interpreting it, and he's applying it to other things.
Mm-hmm. Incorrectly.
Everyone does that. Everyone does that though.
But he did it. He did it in a way where it could be.
I'm not giving him a flack for being wrong, but I'm saying that the way I look at him, I would see him on the streets. Like Joe Rogan doesn't give me that air like. He's like,
I see what you're saying.
There's not an air like it's not like
he's normal.
Jay-Z. It's not like I see Tom Cruise. Like he's
normal.
He's more of a level of normalcy than these other guys.
You know what?
Like,
I feel that.
Like, these other guys are like bigger than life.
I feel that, bro. I feel that,
you
bro.
You feel me?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
And I'm not starstruck when I see famous people. But I'm just like Joe Rogan's that person's like, yo. You can go to your local bar and you run into Joe Rogan.
But me and you just agreed on that and how we view Joe Rogan. But can we agree?
That's what I'm saying.
Can we agree on something else too? Can we agree?
I agree that he's also famous.
No, but can we agree that he's looked at as above average, incredible, and all this shit, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And that's what I'm trying to say is he has to watch out for that kind of shit, especially during this time, man. That's all. That's all it is. Don't make sure that people are fucking.
I understand.
He's very thorough all the time. He's very thorough.
I understand that, but I want Joe Rogan to speak how he speaks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I want him to give me
to show that he's human. He's human.
I like it when he talks and then someone checks him on it. Like I like that.
Yes.
I like when he's right about some shit.
Yeah.
He's saying some shit. He's getting out some type of idea, and then like other people help him put the pins where it needs to go. Like I like that. But here's the thing, I'm mainly on a person who listens to people. Like everybody goes to like fucking Instagram and like fucking videos like that. I'm more into people telling me and showing me their whole thought process on why they believe in what they believe. So when he says some shit, I take it and I'm like, oh okay, he's giving me information. Like I've listened to him long enough to be like, okay.
Yeah.
There isn't an ulterior.
Yo, one sec.
Ulterior motive.
Yep. Continue.
Yeah, like I'm not feeling there's an ulterior motive in what he's saying. So
I know.
Not,
I'm being harsh on him. I'm being harsh on him because it's a pandemic.
But it's because he's famous and a lot of people can take it and run.
No, it's not because he's famous. It's because it's a pandemic and he should be very thorough. He's a thorough guy. And everything else, he's fucking very diligent. But in a time where his diligence could have been a little bit more youthful and purposeful, he flacked. And that's because low-key, I'm a behavior guy. That's because low-key, he doesn't think the vaccine is proper. His bias got exposed. And that's what we're trying to say. Not everybody's stupid. I'm not stupid. Other people noticed it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, buddy, stop fucking pretending like you're on both sides all the time. No, you're not, yo. Don't fucking show your bias to the people on public. And it's just, we caught him. That's all it is.
We caught him. I'm going to be realistic. Do I think the vaccine was rushed? Yeah. Do I think it's going to be really effective? No. The only reason I got the vaccine is just literally to get shit out of the way. Like, yo, I want to move on to do another shit. Like, it was
Thank you. Fuck.
It was gonna hamper me from going to work. But you have to take into consideration, like, yo, these other people we're talking about this. There's studies that this talks about like people like the booster shots. They're upping the price on the booster shots. I can't confirm or deny if this is a real thing, but this is what I was hearing. And I'm like, yeah, I expect this.
That's an American thing though. Only America.
Hey.
Because we don't pay for that shit. Like nobody paid for the vaccine here. You didn't pay for your vaccine.
No one's paying for the vaccine, but they're saying like it may stick around like the flu. You may need to get a yearly booster shot. They may charge you for that yearly booster shot. You get what I'm saying?
You want to know why? You want to know why the interesting reason is? And I kind of like it because it's mutation. Yo, I didn't know what...
Because the Delta virus is out here killing people.
Dude.
But
it's so cool. Okay, you know what? You ever heard of genetic code?
Yes.
Okay, you've heard that term. I never really know. I've heard it, never really understood it. DNA has genetic code. Just like virus has a genetic code. So the virus, okay, every time it spreads, it has to copy itself. Every time. So when it makes copies of itself, its genetic code, it sometimes, just like human error, it can mutate, bro. That's why you have these things called like B125, SARS-CoV-2, B1, the South African variant, the Delta variant. And this is the illness that's fucking up our medical professionals. Like, there's people who are fucking looking at this illness and going, what the fuck is it doing? Why is it attacking random? Like, it doesn't even give a fuck what you are. It doesn't, it's fucking fucked. It's super, super fucked. And it's like, there's low chances, right? Like people are saying, oh, why do we need a vax? The survivability is fucking 96%. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have something to present to you, which I noticed personally. This is not something somebody told me. This is just me noticing. A lot of people are like, why are we worried about a 4% chance of death, right? Why do we need the vaccine? We're going to survive. 96% survival, right? So, you following?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay. You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
You were talking about the percentage and all that. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. So I found that people are bitching about, oh, there's a low chance to die, 4%. Then those very same people, when they're talking about the vaccine, they present statistics of side effects of the vaccine. Those statistics that are being presented there's no statistic that's higher than 2%, maybe even 3%. That's how low of the statistic is of a side effect. Why is that low statistic all of a sudden worrisome, but the low statistic of death is not?
It's the same. I can say the same thing for fucking the people who were anti-vaxxers before the pandemic, so who didn't want to vaccinate their kids with because they're afraid their child might get Down syndrome.
Yep, autism.
It's the same. It's the same thing. But yo, I'm not trying to fight nobody on it. Here's the thing. If someone tells
you're
me
not trying to fight somebody is equal to fucking I'm tired.
Here's the thing, like if they take it, they don't take it. It is what it is.
But
if they don't take it and they act up, I kind of wish they die.
Tease.
Like, because we have to have a death
bro, you're so fucking hilarious. You're hilarious.
No, but here's the thing: we have to have a death toll that it's so high that people's like, yo, this shit's crazy. Like, we need those numbers. The numbers that it's at, we were like 200,000 or whatever the number was. I think that people got it, and people like whatever the death number was. It's not high enough for people.
Yeah, it's not. But that's because they don't know how to do basic math.
But the problem is, here's the thing: we are also every time we do the numbers, we're also sheltering people. We should give people 3 numbers: the people who survived it, the people who died, and the people who survived it and his body's fucked up. Like, you need to tell people, it's like, yo, this person survived it.
Trust.
But they had their lungs replaced. Like,
yep.
It is what it is.
I hear you.
And we need to tell at this point, like, yo, we need to be very harsh. Like, we need to stop this. People have lost their jobs. A lot of businesses went out. Like, we needed to keep people like, yo, you don't have to take the vaccine, blah blah. But if we catch you wilding, if there's any video footage we catch you wilding, and you catch it, you're on your own. That's all I need to say. If you are unvaxxed and we catch you wilding, you're on your own. Like, how are we gonna expect doctors and shit to risk their lives on this shit, and you out here wilding?
You're so cool because I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, dude. But it's cool because you get it. That's the side of me that, like, I know deep down past all the bullshit. You get it, dude. You fucking know, man.
And it's so annoying. I'm just like, yo, and it's mostly like these younger fucks and people who don't work anymore, who don't give a fuck. Like, oh, I'm not doing this. Like, it's usually people who too old that do not work anymore, or too young that a job really doesn't mean anything to them. And I'm like, dog, if you're at the age that you catching it, it is what it is. Perfect. It is what it is. We have too many people in America anyway. So you did us a service by paying your taxes. If you fought for our country, we fucked with you. But you're making a choice. And when you made your choice, you decided that, hey, you about to risk it all. Who is we as a society be like, we can't allow you to risk it all? People gamble every day, B. Let them gamble.
Yeah.
Like, we're so weird about it. I'm like, oh, come on. They should just put you in certain hospitals and be like, yo, you ain't gonna make it.
You're yeah. That's
yo,
bro.
You ain't gonna make it.
I like this side of you because,
like, if you didn't, here's the thing. If you didn't take the vaccine, if you were not following, like, yo, I'm not gonna be out here, I'm not gonna be sharing drinks, I'm not gonna be like, I'm not gonna meet some unknowns, get sloppy toppy from some rando. Like, protect yourself a little bit. It's like the same thing with AIDS. Like, you can fuck bitches without condoms all the time, but you can get AIDS once and then your life has changed. Like, it is what it is.
That's crazy, dude.
Like, it is what it is, and I don't know what to say to people. Like, yo, we should be at the point. We should just be very calm about it. Like, yo, we caught you wilding. You're on 4K. Alright, do what you need to do. People who wasn't doing the stay-at-home mandate like that, we were so lenient on people, and then the fucking January 6th shit, like, we were just so lenient on people that it was just, people weren't even afraid. Like, yo, if you can run up to a government building, smear shit all up in the place, touch government documents, they were touching government documents. They could have been.
It pissed me the fuck, dude. Like,
all I'm saying is, we were too lenient. There were people who got COVID, who didn't do the whole mandatory stay at home for 2 weeks and was out and about. We should have just caught them on sight and just beat the shit out of them, dog. Like, yo, we catch you the first time, alright, we gonna let you pass. If you got good enough reason, we gonna let you pass. That second time, you're on site. We tasing you.
Like, why you outside? Why you outside for?
Yo, pit maneuver your car on the road. Like, we treating you like you a terrorist, dog. Yo, we are treating you like Osama bin Laden, dog. On site, dog. On site.
Bullet
dog.
To the head.
And then if you catch it, we should just burn your body and just throw you in the ocean. Like, you don't even get a funeral, dog. You don't get open catch.
Damn. No funeral.
Toss it aside. Burn, toss it aside. Like, yo.
No funeral, all,
Having all of our, not locking down our borders was the worst thing we could have done. Like, we should have locked down our borders and like, yo, no one's coming in. You mean
plain? Yeah.
Nigga, we shouldn't even let you go state to state. Like, yo, here's the time period. Everybody need to get the fuck where they need to get to. Unless you got a special pass letting you get, if your job requires you to drive around through state, you niggas need to get checked.
Trust.
You need to be checked every time you go to a new state. They need to check your temperature. They need to check your shit. Yo, you get your lube up.
You know.
Lube up because this fucking Q-tip is going directly into your nose and touching your brain. You need it.
Facts.
But people wanted to be soft about it. Like, oh, blah, blah. How you gonna have everybody stay at home but not lock down the borders? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? This was last year was the one time would have been like, yo, we don't care what the fuck is happening in your country. We don't care if there's mass genocide happening. You ain't coming in here because we trying to shut this shit down. Last year would have been the greatest time to be like, yo, we are not letting no one in. Fuck out of here. Because they were picking and choosing who they were letting in the majority of the time, but it wasn't like, yo, hard stop, no one's coming in.
Man, that would have been ideal. But the thing is people would have went crazy for that. I think people would have went ape shit. They would have fucking tyranny, fucking.
No, what I'm saying is the border itself.
No, I know, but
shut down.
People would go crazy. I think.
No. The border and the state itself shut down. Like, you cannot leave your state. So if you're traveling somewhere else,
you don't think at all that would make people go fucking ape shit at all, like rioting?
People had to stay home anyway.
Yeah, but but that kind of confinement, right? Just psychologically, like the government doing that.
State? No, to your state?
Yeah, but dude, America.
Your state is pretty big. It's like,
dude,
your state's pretty big. These states are pretty big. Let's just be honest.
But would you be surprised? Would you be surprised if anarchy happened as soon as that announcement, especially in America? Because y'all, freedom, right? Y'all are freedom. You don't know how people are going to react to anything nowadays, right? Fudge.
And his thing, we say what it is. You catch it, accept death.
I would like it. I would like that.
I mean, his thing. Don't get me wrong. Little
accept
kids
death.
And shit, little kids and shit. Like they have no souls, and plus they fucking
kids are safe.
They catch everything.
Safe.
So I'm like, little kids, all right, because it's very weird. Like, they always touching shit. It's like it's weird. It's weird. Little kids, like, they get a pass. But if you're old enough, dog, I'm gonna say a teenager, dog, 14, 13.
16.
13. At 13, you should understand the concept of death. If you don't understand the concept of death, then you clearly are no use to society.
Yo, the
Like I'm
16,
saying,
age
like,
16. You want to?
nah, 13.
Nah, man. But okay, let's go
13.
with you. Let's go with you.
If your child doesn't understand the concept of death at 13, self-preservation at the age of 13, you
That's
have
me.
done something wrong. As a
That
society,
whoa.
as a society, we've already failed. We failed most women. We've already failed.
Yo,
most
you're the
women.
best. You've done something wrong.
I'm gonna bring it all around because we already
That's
know
funny.
how I have my foot on these bitches' necks.
That's funny
When
AF.
there's certain women who's like, yo, I can go to a bar, get shit wasted, and have the bar and the cab company or whoever's getting me home be responsible for my safety. We have failed as a society, and this is my actual problems. Like, yo,
There's other
why-
reasons, but yeah.
it's not. It shouldn't be any other reason.
No, I mean, there's other reasons why we failed as a society.
No, yeah, but there's a lot of that. Like, yo, personal responsibilities out the window for some reason, and I'm only talking about women right now specifically. It's like, yo, there's certain women who will date criminals. Oh, he can be forgiven. If you met him and his whole MO was like he was beating women and he beat you, you made a clear decision. You've made a clear decision about what type of lifestyle you want. There's a lot of women who be like, oh, I date bad boys. There's certain caliber of bad boys who like to put their hand on women.
Mm-hmm.
Who like to, like, oh, I want this type of guy. That type of guy, like, who's never faithful. Say what you want and then not expect shit to change. Like, yo, it's just crazy. The bottom line is that there's two main incidents. The Aziz Ansari shit. This bitch never.
Yeah,
got
but
hurt to herself.
everybody knows that about him. You know, he's safe.
Indian. He's an Indian guy, and he doesn't look threatening. So when people said the story, it's like, yo, him really? We had second guessed it, and then we had the girl say her side of the story. At no point she wanted to go home. He had to physically be like, yo, I'm gonna call an Uber to take you home. You're not about this life. Any other person that would have ruined their career and everything like that. His career was kind of shaky after that. I haven't been following. I don't see any more Netflix specials from him.
Who?
But come on, man. Aziz. I don't know.
Oh, Aziz. Yeah. Well, dude, because that kind of shit, he got startled. So I feel like him in his career, he's proven safe, right? Everybody knows the story. He's fine. But him as a person, he took a. No, he's looked at. No, he's not. Guy. No, he's not. He's looked at as a guy that got falsely accused.
Me Too. Well, he's still one of the guys.
No, he's not.
They came at fucking Johnny Depp. This nigga got his finger cut and he was getting abused.
Yep, but not. He's not. Those two people. I know. You like to be critical, but those two people are safe. Those two people are safe.
They're safe in our eyes. Me Too still has an out for them.
Nah.
Well, at least Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp didn't recover from the Me Too movement. He lost.
Trust me.
He lost Pirates of the Caribbean and
you see
the
his
fucking Harry Potter prequel. He lost
dude,
those
he got fucked. No, like Aziz is completely fine. I'm telling you that. He's completely fine. He just took a step back because he didn't like that. He's like, fuck this shit. Y'all are stupid. I'm doing my life. He doesn't even want. He's pissed. Imagine that.
You know who also got fucked?
Johnny. Who?
All he
Oh, the long hair? I don't know the long hair guy.
Hold on. I'll pull him up. But all he was doing was telling bitches that, yo, he just want to fuck. That's it. That's his whole game plan. He wasn't lying about him wanting to fuck. Then the bitch like, oh, I felt bad about having to sleep with him. I was like, dog, if all he wants to do is fuck and you're not trying to fuck him, then get the fuck away from him. They're like, oh, I felt like I was pressured. All he's talking about was fucking. That's literally. Now people's like, oh, you can't use your fame to fuck bitches. Like, fame is used to fuck people. Stop it. Like, it's so retarded that people's like, oh, he used his fame to get into these bitches' pants. What is the point of fame then? You use fame to do what the fuck you want to do, to get more money and to fuck prettier people. Like, that's what it's used for. Like, I'm tired of people acting like, oh, it's the same thing. Like, oh, if people are like, oh, you can't sleep with her because it's like people like, you know, people used to sleep with their fucking secretaries.
Yeah.
Most of these bitches married their secretary. They married their husband who was their boss at one point.
Those are dumb bitches.
But here's the thing. Don't get me wrong that, hey, there's some people who take it to a level don't need to be taken to. But I'm talking to some of these people.
It's more
like,
common than not.
But I'm talking about some of these people like, oh, I slept with a coworker. I slept with somebody used to work under me. But if you work under that, if that person worked for you for like fucking 5 years and you're both single and she agrees to what you're doing, what is the problem here? We're at a point that's like, yo, it's weird to just do basic shit. Most people meet at the job they're at. Most people. That's the weird shit. Like, people make it seem like, oh, most people who, like, long term, they work with the person. They were around the person, either work with them, go to school with them. They knew they were around this person long enough for the shit to happen. People want to call him like a creeper and everything like that. I'm like, dog, he's doing regular shit. He's rich and he's using his fame to get bitches, which is what people do.
Correct.
If he was a regular guy, who wasn't famous, people wouldn't even look his way. Which is the funny thing. I'm just like, dog, why are you guys making it seem like it's weird?
It's weird because there's how it's done. And most of the time, it's always weird. It's just, we accepted it. We accepted it because it's happened for so long. It's happened because of the secretaries. Women didn't think they had other options for a long time. They really didn't. But now,
no. I'm not considering women to be stupid.
I didn't say that. You didn't say that. Nobody. No.
Here's the thing.
I'm just trying to explain. I'm trying to explain.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying.
No, I know. I'm just trying to.
Society's treating women like they're stupid, they're ditzy, and they can't be left to their own devices.
I think back in the day, back in the day, more of that, because they just got the ability to vote in what, the 1930s, which is kind of fucked.
I'm just saying.
So it's like they haven't been equal for like. It's stupid. It's stupid that they didn't have the ability to vote. Like, come on, really?
Chris D'Elia, that's the guy's name.
Chris D'Elia.
He's the guy who was literally just down to fuck, and the girls got mad at him and was like, oh, all you reaches out to do is talk. So one girl, he was like, yo, how old are you? And
17.
Here's the thing. He said, how old are you? And like, she kept trying to like talk to him. Like, he stopped talking to her. She hit him again when she was 18. She's like, oh, I'm 18 now.
Oh,
like, I'm 18. You down to fuck.
She hit him up. If she hit him up, fuck off.
She hit him up. This is the thing.
Well, then that's it. I don't care.
But me too. And he's like, it's like he had this whole little thing. I'm like, yo, if she's 18 and she agrees to sleep with the person, it is what it is. A lot of bitches just give their pussy out to famous people all the time. NBA weekend is just bitches just coming to try to get dick down by an NBA star. So What are we saying now? We're saying that you're an 18-year-old, you don't have your own faculties to meet someone who's famous and be like, I'm not sleeping with him. Oh, he's famous. I gotta suck his dick because he's famous. I gotta hop on his dick because he's famous. Like, what? You're 18. You can vote. You're treated as an adult. Like, what are we talking about?
I hear you, man. I hear you.
But I said a whole bunch of shit just to say, like, yo, the way we're society treating like women, like, the shit they do is not under their control at all. Anything they do is not under their control. And I have a little argument about the pay gap situation too, because I'm just like, dog, there's a lot of sacrifices that need to be made.
What do you mean argument? Positions. What are you trying to say argument?
The pay gap? I don't think the pay gap is as big as huge as people really make it seem. I think a lot of it is there's certain jobs that women are doing that don't pay, and there's a lot of those jobs that are out there, and they're a high number. Do
you think I believe that there's a pay gap?
I don't know you. I didn't ask you, but go ahead. Do you? Because I keep trying to say there's this pay gap between men and women. Like, there's a lot of jobs that women do that.
This is the knowledge that I have on the topic. Okay, people like feminists and shit, they go pay gap. But unfortunately, they don't understand how the world population works and the workforce, and how men do the more heavy lifting construction, therefore they'll make more money.
No,
Like,
I'm not even talking about that.
no, but the pay gap doesn't exist. There's no pay gap.
But I understand that. But listen, it's not because men do the heavy lifting. It's just that women.
I wasn't gonna leave it there.
Some
I wasn't
women-
gonna leave it there.
But here's the thing: some women choose jobs.
I know.
That-
I was gonna say
like,
all that.
Choose jobs that are just shit jobs.
No,
And I'm
dude,
talking
it's
about like this is
it's
if
it's
you're
what
the
naturally.
hospitality. Here's the thing: the hospitality role
Thank you.
is
You said it.
Is
Yep.
shit. Like you're not
No,
getting
it's
paid
not.
much.
No, it's not.
Being a teacher, you're not getting paid shit. These roles, you are not getting paid shit.
Dude, long story short, let me just I just wanted to hear what you're saying, but I was gonna get there. Women internationally on the fucking planet, they like certain jobs. There's no every data source of every population, Finland, Australia, what population is more in every country? Nurses, men or women.
Nurses are mostly women.
And is that because you can't be a nurse if you're a man?
You
No.
can, but
You can. No.
Here's the
There's no gender thing. It's women choose jobs that pay less naturally at the end of the day. But we're gonna go into this further, which debunks the pay gap. Let's look at fucking people that are in high-end jobs. Both men and women in the higher class often if you're gonna see a woman in the higher class, she is the fucking CEO. Like there's no like middle like clerk, and like it's hard to say what I'm trying to say because
I understand.
All I'm trying to say is there's no men like I'm a woman and you're a man. Me and you are equal. We're in the same law firm. We're both CEOs. The pay gap suggests that you get paid more money because you're a man. There's no data to reflect that at all in any fucking occupation on the planet. No doctor, like a surgeon that's a woman, a brain surgeon that's a woman that went to school for 15 years gets paid less than a brain surgeon that went to school for 15 years that's a man. There's no evidence to support that claim. Not one human being.
But let me also go into something. Negotiating. When it comes time to negotiate, a lot of women are not comfortable talking that talk. And
Soon they will be.
Soon they will be.
Bro. And they deserve
the
to. They deserve to. Talk your shit, bitches. Let's go. Get it done.
I don't have a problem talking this shit. What I'm saying is that I've heard the women I've talked to about this, because I'm always talking about this whole thing and what they're feeling about. They tell me that I'm like, when we go to it's like this, because I have a lot of my IT bosses were women.
There you go.
A lot of
yeah, you told me this.
So I'm just like, I don't look at it the way you guys look at it, but they're saying, oh, this and this. I'm just like, yo, when it comes time to negotiate, do you feel comfortable saying a certain number? I know men who can't negotiate numbers. I can only imagine a woman, someone telling you like, yo, a guy sitting on the other side of you, or a woman, whoever it is, talking on the side of you, like, yo, here's the number we're gonna pay for you. If you don't want the number, you can look for a new job. When someone talks to you like that, there's a certain level. You have to have a certain level to be like, I'm about to take the walking papers. Like, a lot of people's not ready to just jump and leave if that's the case. Here's the thing. A lot of guys will get a job and like kill themselves over the job.
Yep. They'll die. Men die at work. I
don't know a lot of women who will get a job and then work that job until they're like they're done.
Unless it's really easy.
I'm not gonna say that.
I am.
Throwing out very weird to be like, oh, there's like this pay gap. I was like, but let's look into the roles. If you're a nurse, why don't you just go from nurse to doctor? You are literally doing everything else. Like, is there
people
no
like to get comfortable? I like to get comfortable. I'll stay at this job forever if it's easy. Fuck, doesn't have to be just women. I'm guilty of that.